I suggest a new strategy, Archon.
Only different in your mind.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Brown, 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 brown. Brown, 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 brown.
Great introduction.
I was like, in 3. You know what it reminded me of? I don't know why, but it reminded me of like when the girls would watch Jimmy Neutron, and it was like, got a blast.
Blast. Yeah. Oh yeah, you're too old for that.
Yeah, but I remember. But I mean, I have daughters, so I remember them watching it. So I'm being photobombed by Peanut behind me.
Say by your Kiki.
What's up?
What's up? How was your vacation?
It was great. I just got picture frames for all these, so they're like spread all out over the table because I was literally in the middle of getting ready to put them in picture frames. You know, the
Decorating.
Talented Eli. Venomous on YouTube. Look him up. He does more than just Star Wars. Shout out. But vacation was awesome. It was definitely a good recharge.
Much needed.
Yeah, definitely good. Yeah, 100%. Like going hard for the last couple of years, getting the restaurants all situated and everything. I definitely needed the time off. Like I took a couple of days. I noticed that on my timelines, I'm always on vacation in June. And realistically, June is around the slowest time of the year for the industry. So I guess that's maybe why I've gone. But so I hadn't gone anywhere in well over a year. And it was definitely much needed. I definitely enjoyed it and felt that I needed to recharge and reset, which is good because now like that I'm back, like I eased back into my workout this week. Nothing too heavy, just nice and light, feeling it, and doing my cardio.
Bleh. I haven't started cardio yet.
So nice.
That's good.
Yeah. But it was definitely good. Go. Jeez. He's like, I want to play. You want to play? Sorry.
I don't think mine's in here today.
Be asleep. Yeah.
Did you guys go to San Diego?
Huh?
Did you go to San Diego? Is that where you're at?
Yes, I went back home to San Diego. I know, it's funny too because I was literally just talking about it. I was like, I didn't even film everywhere that I went. Like, I realized that like I was just living in the moment, you know, like I'm like officially to that age where it's like I don't have to document every single thing that I do and put it live on social media. And I just lived in the moment. Like, it's funny too, like even with what I kind of posted, one of the pictures, I was like, damn, I totally forgot to get a picture of this restaurant. So I literally Googled the restaurant and just like cropped the picture off of Google.
Yeah, totally took that picture.
I'm like, it looks the exact same from, you know, it's just better quality camera.
Right.
But it was definitely nice. It was nice to be back home. I don't miss the traffic at all, though.
I can imagine. I don't miss any of that traffic.
Yeah, so I don't miss any of the traffic. Was
the weather nice at least?
It took me 15. Oh, the weather was beautiful. You kidding me? San Diego is paradise. Yeah. Literally paradise. It took me 59 minutes to go 20 miles.
That's ridiculous. No.
Yeah.
No. That's the worst thing about California.
Yep. So I was like, nope, I don't miss this part.
That's why you go visit and you take a vacation there.
Mm-hmm. Like I was literally across the street from the beach. Like if you stepped out of the hotel, you could grab a surfboard there that they have that you can rent, and you can just go across the street and go surfing.
Can you surf?
Not very well because it's been 20 some years.
I feel like you'd sink.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, that was like the thing too, is like, I didn't even attempt it because you have to figure, like, I haven't surfed since probably the early 90s.
Oh God. So when I was a baby.
And I was, yeah, like, I was literally a kid back then, you know? So it's just like, I'm 200 pounds heavier, you know, essentially. So
Just full of muscle, it's gonna pull you down.
I'm just like, man, yeah, literally. And
You
just,
okay, so
it
the
was
other
just,
night I rewatched Lilo and Stitch. And that's what it reminded me of because Stitch goes in the water and he can't swim because he's so heavy he just sinks to the bottom. And that's you.
mm-hmm,
You're just Stitch, whoo, go down the ocean.
literally. Yeah. So, and this, so like, and I've really been debating on getting like another pair of rollerblades. And like, I'm so tempted to pull the trigger, but then I also have to like think like, man, back when I used to skate, I was only 120 pounds. I'm like, I'm 200 and, 56 pounds now. Like, how awkward would I be on those rollerblades?
Right. It's that freaking Barbie trend. Everybody wants roller skates now.
Yeah. Well, like, my rollerblades got stolen when I left them outside briefly. My old apartment a couple years back had gotten like a water flood from up above, and it ended up soaking the case that they were in. So I left them outside to dry. Well, somebody stole them that night. So,
Was
or
that in
I'd
the
still have
downtown
them from when I
apartment?
was younger. Yeah,
You should have known better.
yeah. So I know. It's it sucked. But I've been thinking about getting the new ones, but they're like $300.
Yeah, they ain't cheap. Which is ridiculous.
No, I know. And I'm like,
Just make
but
your
then
own.
it's like I try to justify it. No, I want, I want a specific pair. So
Oh. Are they Nike brand?
yeah, no. They're some K2. So when I was younger, I used to have K2 fatty SCs, which were like aggressive skates because like I used to skate on like half pipes and like grind and all that stuff. Like I was like an inline skater. Um, so I kind of want to get another pair of those, but you just can't find them anywhere, and like they are expensive on eBay, like regardless.
Yeah, I don't even know what that is. RKBY something
Exactly.
something.
So, and initially, so like even when I was younger, like I just like K2 the brand. So I was like, I always told myself I'm gonna have K2 skates. I was gonna buy a K2 bike and a K2 snowboard. And now that I'm an adult, I'm like, maybe I will get a K2 snowboard.
Snowboard would be
But
dope.
I also can't justify, yeah, but I can't justify spending $300 right now on a pair of skates because I know that they're literally gonna sit like all my pairs of Jordans, and I'm gonna wear them every once in a while.
Yeah,
Like,
100%. Like your custom shoes. Oh, these are gnarly looking.
hey, yeah, some K2 fatty SCs.
I gotta put all that in. K2 Fatty SC. So,
Yeah.
okay,
So,
okay. And those look like, oh, they are. Amazon's like
mm-hmm.
244. That's wild.
Yeah, yeah. So, but
Dang, 199. Yeah, expensive taste.
yeah, I know. I actually just bought another pair of Air Maxes so that I don't wear my red and black custom ones because I feel like I'm wearing them out and I want them to last longer.
I can never wear them. They stay in the box on
Well,
display.
that's like my retro Jordan ones, the band. I haven't worn them in probably a year. They've just been sitting in the box.
That's a collector in you.
True. But also too, like they're nice shoes, so I want to wear them out when I go to
No,
nice
I understand.
places.
Like I do have a pair of my only
Yeah.
boots that are like $300, but they're real leather. I've worn them maybe 3 or 4 times. I bought them for my wedding. So what? That was 3 years ago. When did I get married? 19, 20,
Yeah.
4 years ago. So I've only worn them like a handful of times.
No.
So I guess I get it.
Yeah. Heck yeah. So, but
Oh, my cat
vacation
is
was
in
great. Thank you for asking. It
You're
was
welcome.
very nice. It was definitely memories to last.
With your lady friend.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
But Ricardo hit me up about opening up a restaurant. So I was like,
No way.
maybe we should open up a restaurant.
You
Yeah.
should. You should. Do it.
So,
Do it.
so I don't
Only
know.
because
We'll
I'm
see.
watching The Bear right now. It's on Hulu. I don't know if you've seen it, but they're opening
Mm-hmm.
up a restaurant right now. And I'm very
Yeah, I've
invested in the
seen it.
show. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you should do that. Do it. They're doing it. You do it. It works.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna meet up and talk about it.
Get a game plan,
So
maybe.
yeah, he's like, I don't want to go to Malaysia no more, so I'm gonna quit my job. We should open up a restaurant. And I was like, well, what are we gonna sell? He's like, tacos. And I was like,
All
But
different
there's
kinds of
so many
tacos.
places already around town. Yeah.
That's true.
And we can call it two fat boys.
That'd be pretty funny. You'd get business
No.
though, for sure.
But I was like, yeah. Did you go and watch The Flash?
No. And you're gonna ask that.
I knew it.
Well, it's like the way we were trying to plan out our day. It's like an hour drive because we want to go to the good theater, and it just didn't work out.
Excuses.
I know, and I'm very bummed because I really want to see it. But like I said, I don't want to see it in the stupid theater. I want the whole, surround sound and stuff.
You want the experience.
Yeah. So, and then he had Tuesday off, obviously 4th of July. So I thought about that, but we were meal prepping and stuff. And so I'm like, that's an hour drive there. And the movie's like 2.5 hours. And that's another hour drive home. And then I got to rush to make all the meals. So I was just like, never mind. We'll plan it for like this weekend or something.
Good.
Good. It's good.
It's good. I know I was right before we jumped on, I was watching Secret Invasion, and I'm just like,
oh shit,
they
there's
made
a new
a young
episode.
Nick Fury on it. I'm on only the second episode, but I'm like, they made a young Nick Fury, and the graphics look great. I'm like, get with it, DC.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just think DC should stick with their animated stuff. Like, they do a great job with their animated series and their animated movies.
That's true. I do like Titans. I need to finish that season, but
Yeah.
I know a lot of people didn't like it.
I got a lot of funny feedback about when I was like, my number one is Hayden Christensen.
Did you?
Yeah,
You
so
really
many
scared
people
me
were
too.
like, "Oh, dude, I know that was the whole point. That's why I did it. And it was so funny.
I'm like, have you been keeping this from
everybody's
me?
like, oh, they were like, you got Mariah so good, blah 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 blah. And I was like, that was the goal.
Yeah, I really did.
So
Like, he's been lying this whole entire time.
You know what's funny is I was thinking about it earlier. This is our 6th episode that we're shooting, and my hair is literally long every single episode, and I've cut my hair 4 or 5 times since we've been starting this.
It never looks freshly cut on video. That's so true. You're just like a freaking chia pet, I swear.
I'm like, dude, I literally got my hair cut the Friday before we left. And I've been back for 5 days, so it's been like maybe 14 days at that, and I got to go tomorrow
Yeah.
and get my hair cut again.
Yeah, your hair is ridiculous.
I'm just
That's what I was
like,
trying to tell Shane when he was nervous
yeah,
about cutting hair. I was like, his hair is hard, but his hair grows so fast. So if you do make a couple ups and you're
yeah,
learning, his hair, it's gonna grow back in a couple days. It's fine. And
yeah.
then once you get it
I
down,
do miss,
the
yeah,
mohawk.
I do miss the, yeah, that you would do. I wish he would feel comfortable with doing that.
Yeah, he
Do I
always
look like
gave
I
me
got
those
sun?
haircuts. A little bit. Sun kissed. Oops.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was so nice. It was like literally you wake up, the windows open so you can smell the sea air and hear the seagulls. It's overcast till about noon because you're literally across the street from the beach, and then it's like no hotter than 75 degrees.
I
So
was
it
like,
was
perfect.
beautiful. And yeah, and then it was like everywhere you needed to go. I would have never even had to leave Oceanside. Like there was so much stuff to do there in Oceanside. There was an ice cream parlor. I forget the name of it, but they have like handmade ice cream, and there was literally like 10 to 15 people, no matter what time it was, lined up outside of that place. Like we were walking because everything's like within walking distance. So like we went to this nice Italian restaurant one of the nights, and we're sitting there, and there's probably like 25 people in line, and it's like 9:30 at night, and I'm
Oh
just
my
like, what the
gosh.
heck?
Well, very
Yeah, so
touristy.
it was really really cool. Yes, yes, definitely. There was axe throwing. There was all kinds of stuff. Did you see the donuts that we got that I had posted?
Mm-hmm. You would get donuts.
They were definitely worth all the calories that I consumed. Like I ate nonstop food,
Calories on vacation
so it
don't
was
count.
nice. It was definitely nice. They don't. And but one thing I did notice, I didn't drink hardly any water when I was out there. Like
That's not
I
good.
didn't even, I don't know why, but I didn't. I know. I was like, by like the second day, I was like, I feel so dehydrated. So then I went to the store and bought like a big gallon of water and was just chugging. But it was a blast.
Yeah, I guess water is
Definitely a
the easiest
blast.
thing to forget when you're having fun. You're just like, eh.
One, you're just constantly on the go.
Mm.
So, but it was good. It was definitely good. And then as soon as I got back, I'm not even exaggerating, that night, Southwest sent me a thing, was like, book your next flight for $59. And I was like, I'm already ready to go. So I've gone on that app like I've gone on my app like 3 times and put in like 3 different destinations, and I'm like, it's only $137 to fly round trip. I should just do it.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. Jeez.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. I got a good deal on the flight anyways when I went out there, like, and for as long as I was out there and as much as I didn't spend that much money. Like I think I probably spent like maybe $350, $400, if that.
That's not bad at
So
all.
yeah, and that's like including gas, getting groceries, all kinds of random stuff. So, but it
Yeah,
was
we
definitely
decided
fun.
for Disney World we're going to drive. So that's going to be a lot of money for gas.
You guys
But
are
it'll still be cheaper than a
you
flight.
guys are gonna drive.
Yeah.
Well, I know, because then like that's kind of like what I was thinking too. I was like, damn, I was like, because we rented a car and it was super. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was super convenient. Like we got off of the plane and we literally just walked across the street. We got on a bus. The bus drove us to this gigantic parking garage. We walked up. We gave them our name, gave them credit card, and they said, okay, go to the third floor and your car is in this space. The keys are in it, and you just get in it and drive away.
Easy peasy.
Yeah. But then like I was adding it up too. I'm like, for the amount that I paid for the rental car was probably half of our flight, and then gas. So I'm like, it kind of evened out, but also like it would have been nice just to drive. Cause I even was
Mm-hmm.
joking around and I was like, would you be down just to drive back home and go to Disneyland the next day?
It's like right there. Might as well.
They literally, I was like, we're an hour and 20 minutes away from it if we leave right now.
Oh, you guys should have. But see, that's what I was
I
thinking with the
know, but
rental
I
car and
was like,
stuff. It adds up real fast.
yeah. Because I was like, man, I was like, but then also she's never been to Disneyland. And like, I'm only going to Disneyland to go to Galaxy's Edge. Like, I don't care about the
Yeah.
rest of Disneyland. I've been there so many times. So I was like, well, I don't want to cheat her out of that experience. So,
That's funny because Randall's never been to Disneyland
but
or Disney World.
I,
So I'm excited. He's not excited at all.
oh,
I'm
I
just like,
bet he's probably like, do we really have to go?
but that's
No,
why
you know
we
what it
decided to
is? He was
drive
saying,
because to make him feel more comfortable having our car in case anything happens. And it is cheaper.
yeah. But what's going to happen is he's going to say, oh, yeah, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And then he's going to have fun
Oh
and he's
yeah.
going to have a blast. And
Yeah.
then you're going to be like, you're going to be like, see, I told you, you would have had fun. He would have been like, yeah, I mean, it was fun, but like, I could have bought a new gun part for the most,
Right.
for the amount that I spent to.
100%. But I'm gonna make him be a kid. I'm like, when we're here, you have to just de-stress and just you're never gonna see these people again. Have a good time. Act like a child.
Yeah.
We're riding all the rides. We're
Yeah.
gonna go to all the
Well,
shows.
yeah, 100%. And that's how I felt too. I was just like, I need to just like relax. Like everybody that's an adult needs to like have that time away. Like even when you're a parent, you need to get away and if you can, shut off that mom brain, shut off that dad
Mhm.
brain and just enjoy yourself as a human being. Like so many of us are so caught up nowadays in like being that image, like I'm a father, so like I have to act a certain way. I mean, don't get me wrong, like, like I'm a responsible adult, but also in the same aspect, like you have to be able to let your hair down. You have to be able to like enjoy yourself and enjoy your life, especially with like how much we work and we're just pouring ourselves into all this stuff. It's like take some time for self-care.
Mhm. That's one thing my mom always gave me advice on when I do have a kid. Because she had 5 kids, but she always said that was her biggest thing. If she could do it again, she would take time to herself. Because she never did. Like looking back, almost she never went on vacation. She never hung out with her friends by herself. Like we were always there. She was always doing all. So she's like, that was the biggest thing. Because you need to get that break. Because then you end up lashing out or you're just, you're struggling. So she's like, when you have a kid, make sure you make time
Yep.
for yourself and just get away, even if it's just
Yeah.
for a day,
Yeah. Well, and it is very important. Like, especially like when you do have like a significant other and you guys have kids together or, they have kids and you have kids, like it's very important not to get lost in that. Like, and it may seem selfish to some people and some people may be like, oh, you always put the kids number one, this, and that. And it's like, yes, you do put the kids number one. But the fact of the matter is, if you're not as a person with your own individual self, your kids are going to see it even if you're not thinking that they don't see it. They're going to see
Mhm.
that you're unhappy. They're going to see that you're stressed out. So it is important.
You
It's like
can't
you
pour
have
from an
fun with
empty
them,
cup.
but then you also have fun on your. Exactly.
You gotta fill your cup up.
I like that analogy.
That's what I tell Randall.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Gotta fill your cup up before you can give to others.
Yeah. Who's that? Butterscotch?
Yeah. He's all up in my
That's
business
meowing?
now. Yeah. He was hiding in my
Yeah.
closet, I'm in my closet, but where my clothes are, and he poked his little head out, so I guess he knew I was closing the door and he came out. He's a little shithead.
Yeah, he's like, mother trucker. How's
Time
work
to
this
bug
week?
Mom. It's all right. It's just hot.
Yeah, I do like seeing you do movements that you don't like doing.
I know. I went on all our old videos. That's my thing. I was like, how we talked about last week when we're not working out together, how I motivate myself. And that's one thing. If I challenge myself and do things that I don't necessarily like or that are harder. So I was going through, I'm like, what did he make me do that really sucked? I was like, all this band workouts. So I guess I'm throwing bands on everything. And it has been enjoyable though. I've been really liking it. It's been motivating me more too. Like I'm excited to do it because it's something different and something I'm not good at.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm
Yeah.
glad. I'm glad. I know going through all the videos and everything, it's just like some of the things I'm like, man, I haven't done that for a while. And like even like in one of the other videos, how I was saying like I'm doing some movements that I normally don't do. Um, I'm really just trying to challenge myself. But one thing that I really am taking serious is like my mobility. Like I'm doing my shoulder stretches. I'm doing, my hip stretches, everything. Like I'm legit stretching like I should be. Um, and like I've been going back to the chiropractor faithfully, and I'm gonna get some more massages, and it helps.
Good.
It definitely helps.
I do need
And
to
I
stretch
listen
more.
to my body. Like, yeah, I listen to my body too. Like yesterday, I did probably 4 leg exercises, and my knee just didn't feel right for some reason. Like, felt like I needed to pop it, but I couldn't pop it. And I was like, you know what? It's better just to like call it quits now and just consider this your workout. And then go ahead and just like come back another day 100% stronger. Because I was like, I'm not going to compromise myself and push myself past that limit and potentially hurt myself.
And then you can't work out
And
at
I
all.
did, and I listened to my body. Yeah, yeah. And like before, when I was younger, I was so stubborn, and I was just like, "No, you're gonna push through it. You're gonna push through it, and like, don't be a wimp." But now I'm like, longevity is the key.
Well, even when you were training me, when we first started working out together, you were very like about that. You always ask me because I'm like, no, I'm fine. Push through. You're like, no, like, does something hurt? What's going on? Because if you're hurt and you push yourself, but I'm like, I'm fine. Like I can just push through it. And you're very like, no. So that's always stuck with me. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
don't push through it because you always got on me for it.
Yeah. So, and I did. I did those 4 exercises. I felt okay. I ended up running into Mikey, and then we ended up sitting outside for like a good like hour and a half just talking and catching up. So it was good. And then I went and did what I had to do and came home and made dinner and did my dad duties and hung out with the kids and everything, and had a good time last night.
Good. What was yesterday? What's today? Oh, okay. Forgot what the day was.
Today's Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Winter recorded.
So it was good. It was real good.
So since we're talking about workouts, kind of,
Um,
I have a question for you.
mhm.
What if you deal with it in a certain way or not, but how do you get past like body dysmorphia? Because I've had some talks with some people about that lately, and I've noticed online that's been a big thing. And we've talked about it, but is there a certain way that either you get over it or deal with it?
All right, so here's my advice. Okay? If you start working out, that is the first day you start working out and then you start seeing progress, that is the day you will become obsessed, but also never satisfied. You will never be satisfied with what you see because you are always going to project on yourself what you could be. And I'm glad that you brought it up because like it's funny. It's not funny by any means like a ha ha, but it's just funny that you did bring it up because I seriously was like just having this conversation with my girlfriend because like I took some pictures, I felt good, and like I sent them to her, and I was like, oh, like I took these pictures, I feel good, and she's like, yeah, you look great, and I'm like, yeah, thanks, and it's like you get compliments, um, but even when you get compliments, you still internally beat yourself up. Like I ran into who did I run into at Walmart the other day? Yesterday, as a matter of fact. I think it was Johnny. I ran into Johnny at Walmart, and he's like, damn, dude, he's like, you look great, like you're so lean. And it was like him complimenting me and telling me that I look lean internally ate at myself because right now I don't feel lean, if that makes sense. So I was just
Mm-hmm.
like, in my as I'm shopping the rest of the way, I'm like, yeah, I feel flat. I don't have any muscle definition. Like you can I feel like I feel flat, but also I feel waterlogged, if that makes sense. Like when I see myself, I completely see myself differently than everybody else sees me. And one person that really did point that out to me was my girlfriend, because it was like I was kind of like nitpicking myself a little bit in the mirror, and she was like just sitting there, and she was just like, "Why do you do that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "You're literally nitpicking yourself for like 15 minutes." And I'm just like, I didn't even realize I was doing it, but I feel comfortable with her, you know? So it was like, I let my guard down, and like I'm internally beating myself up externally to where somebody else can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just one of those things where it's just like the biggest hurdle for myself is accepting that I may not look like I did in pictures from 2019. I may not look like pictures from 2022. I may not look like myself from 2016.
Mm-hmm.
Does it mean that I can does it mean that I can get as lean and as in shape that I was in 2016? 100%. When I look at pictures of myself during COVID and I got up to 285 and I was bulking, um, can I get back to that? 100% I could. I could start eating like a hog and cut myself off from the world like I did during COVID and just eat, sleep, and train, eat, sleep, and train. Um, but am I going to be happy? And that's the biggest thing. Because no matter what, like no matter what I look at in any of those photos, um, I'm happier now, even though I don't like the way that I look, than I did when I thought I looked good. And I just had to accept the fact that I am at a stage in my life right now that I may not be bulky and muscly. I may not be lean and muscly. I may feel flat, but it's okay, because as long as I go to the gym every single day and I continue to build, I'm achieving my goal. And I have accepted that I can look my best even if I don't feel my best. And it's something that you will internally struggle with no matter what. And I think the sooner you accept it for yourself and you understand that you can achieve anything that you put your mind to, as long as you don't make yourself your own worst enemy.
Very well said. Yes, I 100% agree. But I just remember too, because in the gym and stuff, I would say something, and you're just like, I don't feel that big. Like my chest is not big. I'm like, dude, you're big. Like in a good way. Like you have all this muscle, but you just like, yeah, I don't know. But then I would do the same shit. I'm like, I think my legs are getting smaller. Like you're like, Mariah, literally, like they're not getting smaller. I'm like, I don't know. My quads aren't that big anymore. My butt doesn't look that big. You're like, you're fine.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
people that just even like doing shows and stuff. Like I feel like I don't know about other females, but I feel like that's the worst. Like when you're doing shows, you're at your leanest, and you too being at your leanest ever, and then you're not so much, but still understanding that that's not realistic in like a lifestyle aspect. But it's still that was the leanest you had ever been, and it's like, yeah, I could do that again. But for me, I'm not passionate about doing shows like other females are or other guys. It was fun. I'll probably maybe do another show one day, maybe, but I don't want to live that lifestyle because same thing. I'm just not going to be happy doing that 24/7.
Can I can I interject real quick?
Yes,
Can You would be competing more if we still lived in the same town. Even though you
probably.
say you don't want to, you would be competing more right now. And here's why. Our friendship and our bond over everything, um, a lot of people can't understand a platonic relationship between a male and a female, and having somebody that's of the opposite sex who pushes you and motivates you the way that you and I motivate each other and push each other. Um, so realistically, like if you and Randall still lived in town, you would probably compete again because I would nag you on to compete, and then it would drive that internal fire, and you would know that you had somebody with you that was going to be along for the journey. And the reason why I say this is because I have talked and talked about competing again. I have thought about it. It's constantly in my mind. But the one thing that I don't have now is I don't have you. Um, and when I had Michael and everything like that, like my motivation was great. Like me and Michael worked out today at the tribal gym really quick. Where I had to come let Lena in the house because she locked herself out of the
I
house
saw
again. Um,
that. Poor Lena.
but it was so nice to be back there, and it was like this is where I started. Like from the very first competition that I ever did, that's the gym that I started in. And I had Michael like shortly, like a year later, and he was my gym partner for the longest time, and then with him wanting to travel and do everything and the way that everything aligned, you became that you became that person that I had in my life. And now that you're not, um, I mean, you are in my life. Don't get me wrong. We talk like every single day,
Yeah.
but I don't have you there I don't have you there in the gym. But if I did have you in the gym, it would make me be a little bit more like, I'm going to freaking compete again. You know what I mean? Because we feed off of each other,
That's
and
true.
it's like we motivate each other. And it's something that I realized too, because it was like, even my conversation with Michael yesterday, I was like, yeah, I kind of want to do another show. And he was like, quit being a P and just get in shape and do it. And I'm like, this is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about. So I
Mm-hmm.
do feel like if we were closer, you would be competing. You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
And then our go ahead.
Because I feel like my second show, because I don't think I didn't really talk about wanting to really do another show. And then I was just like, I'm going to do another show. And you're like, yeah, let's do this. I'm like, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess you're
Yeah,
right.
you know, and so to touch back on that, well, for one, I'm going to say for how small our town is, um, bodybuilding is very big in our community. Very, very big in our community. You know what I mean? We have IFBB pros that are in our town, as well as IFBB pros in the town above us and even in Reading, So from
Mm-hmm.
Reading to Sacramento, we have tons of IFBB pros. We have tons of NPC competitors, like top level competitors. So fitness is very big in our area, and there's tons of male bodybuilders, and there's a bunch of female competitors from figure to bikini. Like there is a ton of amazing people who have great genetics who have come out of this small town. Um, you know, and it's one of those things where it's like you're submerged around it and you see all these people at the local gyms and you're just like you feed off of it. Um, but to touch back kind of like to what you were saying about body dysmorphia, I I know how hard it is to deal with, and I know a lot of people don't talk about it. Um, and it is something that every single person struggles with. Like, so, just to give people a backstory, I was always lean throughout high school. And then when I was in like my early 20s and I had my first daughter, I became significantly overweight. Like, I was probably like pushing like 290 at my biggest. Like I was a big boy, but it was like I was with my kids' mom. My diet was crap. I ate fast food every single day. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner. I ate chips and I drank soda and I had ice creams and I ate processed foods and I didn't do any working out. And I got really, really big. And not until my friends came back from war that I had went to high school with, and I hadn't seen them for like 2 or 3 years, and they're just sitting there telling me like, man, Manuel, like you really let yourself go. But for myself, I was like, let myself go. What are you talking about? Like I'm living my life. But then it's like I wasn't living my life. Like I was in that hamster wheel. Like I would wake up, I'd go to work, I'd eat like crap, I'd come home, I'd watch my kid, I'd hang out, I'd have an okay dinner because I would cook, but I would just repeat that hamster wheel process and just keep on eating processed foods and putting crap in my body so that, I naturally gained weight. I wasn't athletic. I didn't do anything. And not until I made that decision when I was probably like 27 years old, and we were at the park in Marysville, and Angelina was like 3, and she had gotten away from me. And no, I was probably a little bit younger, actually, now that I think about it. It's probably around 24. But the geese started to chase her, and I couldn't get her. And I was like, I can't protect my kid because I'm so out of shape. And that's when I made the conscious decision to like get myself in shape, because I was like, if I can't protect my daughter against some geese because I'm overweight and I'm out of shape, like I can't do this. And that's when I made that decision. And like, I got really, really lean. Like I went from like probably like 280 down to like 185 is I think the leanest that I got. And then it was like I was
Dang.
working out, and like I fell in love with it. And then I got up to about 210, and then I cut down for my first show. But even like after my first show, it just, from that point on, I picked myself apart, like, and then, the judges giving you feedback, and they're telling me like, you need to build your upper body because your lower body is bigger than your upper body. So it doesn't match. You're not proportioned. And like me being like, oh, I need to have big legs, so I'm going to hit legs twice a week, and like only focus on legs. And then now I have to focus on my upper body. And then I'm happy about that because now I feel a little bit more proportioned. But then also now that I look at my legs, I'm like, my legs aren't as big as they used to be, but then I couldn't hit them. I couldn't hit legs because my lower back hurt. And it's just this spiral effect that you put yourself in, you know? And then just one day you just wake up and you're just like, be happy. Like, I have full range of motion. I can completely do any exercise that I want except for back squats right now. So I am happy, and I'm accepting the fact that I have a little bit of fat on me and I feel a little bit flat, but that's okay because tomorrow's a new day and I'm going to make myself better.
Hell yeah.
So
Yeah, same.
20 that whole rant for 20 minutes is basically, you can sum it up in one word, is like, you have to be satisfied with what you have right now, and just know that you can make yourself better if you put yourself and push yourself. Like, don't be a pussy, quit being afraid, and cut that weight. You want to get big, eat that food. You want to
Mm-hmm.
get lean, don't eat that food, and increase your
Right?
cardio.
Yeah. Eat lots of protein.
So yeah,
Yeah, well, I feel
body
like with
dysmorphia is something that's,
I was saying, because it's a lot of mental with
go ahead.
working out and eating and stuff too. It's not just like, I'm gonna go to the gym and feel great. Like, yeah, it's gonna help for
Yeah,
sure, but if you don't deal with your own stuff and if you're just unhappy with your life in general, it's gonna just carry over. Like, one part of life's gonna be better because you're losing weight and you feel better in the gym, but it's like you got to deal with whatever you got to deal with.
100%. 100%. There is no magic pill. There's no magic diet. There's no amount of supplements that you can put in your body that's going to make you feel happy unless you actually make yourself feel happy. You can't. It's the same
Mm-mm.
thing with drug addicts trying to numb their pain by continuously doing drugs or turning to alcohol. Like, yeah, it puts you off, and it makes you quit thinking about it for a minute, but when you wake up that next day and you're sober, you're still going to have that pain, you're still going to have that hurt or whatever's driving you to continue to use substance.
Mm-hmm.
It all depends on you, and just, you have to accept it. Like, I accept that I'm not in the best shape that I wanted to be in going into my 40th birthday, but you know what I'm doing? I'm doing something every single day so that when my 40th birthday comes, I'm in better shape than I was when I look back at myself 2 or 3 months ago.
Exactly. I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I had that moment too where I was just like
So
I didn't let myself go, but I definitely was not strict with my nutrition. You can feel a difference when you start eating shitty and you eat better. And I was like, it's fine, one more day. And then I was like, this isn't making me happy. Like, this is just making me miserable at the end of the day, looking back at all the garbage I was eating.
Yeah.
And the last week, I've been eating better. And I'm like, oh, see, I feel so much better. And I'm happier because I'm doing what I told myself I was going to do. And yeah, just sometimes you got to pick yourself up and just be like, I'm going to do this and just freaking do it.
Yeah. Well, and like I would suggest too with like body dysmorphia, um, just to give like an example for somebody that like wants to do something like, so for myself, I didn't like the way that I looked in my work clothes. You know, like I have to wear nice pants with a button up shirt that's tucked in, you know, and I felt very self conscious around the midsection because, you know, I had a little bit of a tummy. And I never had a tummy before. And it was very hard to like coming back after COVID and not seeing any of my normal regular customers that I had seen in 2020 and then being like, oh, you got kind of big, you know. And I had one customer one day like tap my stomach and was just like, you put on a bit of weight. And I'm just like, and
Yeah,
like
you're about to get
internally,
punched.
like, I'm just, I'm just like, "Ugh," you know, but like also, so in a respectful way, I told them, I said, well, the last time you saw me, I was only 219 pounds. I'm 270 pounds now. So I wanted to put on a little bit of muscle. I had to put on a little bit of weight. I'm currently working at it, you know, so I was very self conscious with the clothes that I wore. And even like one of the outfits that I wore when I went out to dinner when we were in San Diego, I hadn't wore those pants since I bought them because I didn't feel comfortable in them. And that white t-shirt that I wore that was a button-up shirt, I hadn't wore that shirt in probably 7 or 8 months. And the reason why I bring all this up is because sometimes when you suffer from body dysmorphia, you pick apart so many different parts. Like I'll give you an example. Like I'm like, oh, my arms are too small, I need to get my arms bigger because the judges told me one time your arms don't match your back and your chest because your chest and your back are so big that your arms look smaller compared to the rest of your upper body. Because I never really used to hit arms. Like in the first like probably 4 years 5 years of working out, I maybe hit arms once a week, maybe once every couple of weeks. Like I always hit back, I always hit legs, I always hit chest, and I always hit shoulders in some form.
Mhm.
So I'm picking myself apart. Like I need to get my arms bigger, I need to get my stomach smaller, I need to get my legs back. And for me, trying to overanalyze all those little things, I told myself I'm going to step back and I'm going to concentrate on the one area that I feel the most uncomfortable with and solely focus on that one area and devote 100% to that area. And with doing that, I have felt better about myself. As opposed to trying to change so many things at one time. I'm like, my
You focus
arms are
on one
fine. Like,
thing.
yes, yes. And so my diet has been the one thing that I have focused on. And just by changing my diet, I have seen a world of difference in my body.
Crazy.
And it's just like no no cardio. My body's changing and I'm losing weight with no cardio. For all you, you know, people that feel like you have to do an hour and a half on the Stairmaster, like you really don't. Your diet is key. You know, cardio just helps. It's like
Cardio
putting
is good for
lighter
your heart.
fluid on the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. And your stamina.
And stamina, yes.
And your endurance.
Yeah.
But
So
you
it's
know,
good for
and
you.
that's the one and that's, yeah, it is, don't get me wrong, but that's the one thing that I focused on. Like, so I told myself in December, I'm not going to eat any fast food. You're not going to eat any fast food. Didn't eat no fast food, didn't eat no fast food, didn't crave it, nothing. Finally one night, super late at night, I don't have no groceries at home, everything's already closed. So I was like, forget it, I'm just going to go through Taco Bell's line, I'm going to get some food. As soon as I got it, the guilt that I felt, I might have mentioned this before on a couple episodes, but I didn't really dive in this much. The amount of guilt that I felt buying the food and driving home with it was like, why am I feeling so guilty? Like, I feel ashamed. And then also was like, I feel like if somebody knows that I ate fast food, like I'm letting them down. And then I was like, I'm not letting anybody down. I'm not even letting myself down. Like, you want to eat this, eat it. And then when I got home, I had a couple of bites. I didn't like it. So I just threw the rest away. And I was like, wow, I was like, I've made healthier habits to where like I don't even want to put bad food into my system, you know, and
Like, so
then
you don't even
waking up
like
the
it
next day and
anymore.
feeling no, not at all. Like I used to crave Taco Bell anytime I was dieting, but I do not care for it whatsoever. I got this Superman
I was about to
little
say
curl popping up. Sorry.
that.
But I don't crave it at all. Like I don't crave bad food. Like I'll buy myself a bag of gummies and I'll snack on a couple of gummies. Or my biggest thing lately has been dark chocolate blueberries and dark chocolate
Oof.
cherries. I'll get and I get them, they're frozen, and I have a little bowl and I'll put like 4 blueberries and 4 cherries in there. And if I want something sweet, that's what I eat. But the whole thing that I'm trying to say is just like quit focusing on everything and just focus on one thing.
Yeah. Doing one
Yeah.
task at a time, mastering
Yeah.
that one task and adding on. Um, Another thing with
Yeah.
it, because this happened to me, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. Since you brought up arms, it popped in my head. But there's this girl at the gym, and she's got really nice arms, and like I like the way like your shoulders look when they're very round, and just that CrossFit kind of look. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this girl's definitely on some stuff, and she's so. For me to achieve that look, I would have to do all that. And I know that, but just looking at her, I'm like, man, her arms look really nice. And so I was talking to one of my buddies at the gym. We were talking about her. They were talking about her, something like that. But we're like, oh yeah, she looks really good, yada yada yada. And I was like, yeah, I really like her arms and stuff. And I was like, they just look so good, yada yada yada. But he's just like, all right, like you look fine though. I said, yeah, but I would mind like having my arms a little bit bigger. He's just like, but you can't achieve that look without taking what she's taking. I'm like, yeah, I know. He's like, so you're natural. Your arms look good for your body and you being proportioned. He kind of like talked me down. I was like, I guess that's true. So he's like, the only way you're going to get arms like that is if you take stuff. I'm like, he's like, do you want to take stuff? I said,
Yeah.
no. So he's like, you're fine then. So you
Yeah.
can say she looks good. You can, compliment her, but you can't compare yourself to her when you're in two different worlds.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, now that you say that, it is very hard because you'll see like a lot of these younger kids and like even people in their 20s and some people that are kind of like in their 30s, and they compare themselves to athletes or even the average person that's been at the gym. They compare themselves to them and they forget that these people have been busting their butt for the last 10 to 15 years. And you
Mm-hmm.
cannot compare yourself to somebody that has been putting in the work and killing themselves in the gym and their diet and their nutrition for so many years. You can't compare yourself to them. Like adding supplements into your routine, if you're a competitive person, you are going to look a certain way. Now, with that being said, can you naturally achieve it? Yeah, you can naturally achieve it. Will it take you a little bit longer? It may take you a little bit longer. Will the muscle stay and will you still have that natural size because you allowed your body to take time to develop the actual muscle? 100%. 100%. It just is going to take longer and you can't
Mm-hmm.
compare yourself to somebody else. So,
Especially on the internet.
yep. Compare yourself to the person in the mirror and beat that
Mm-hmm.
person that was there the day before. So,
Yeah, because that was the big thing too for my second show, which I put my little bikini over there because my shadow box, I couldn't get it to work. So whatever, it's going to be there for now. But when
yeah.
I won that show and I posted photos and all the girls are writing on it like, I want your body. I wish I looked like you. Yada. And that's when it really dawned on me how bad people do that on the internet. And I was like, no. You guys do
Yep.
not want that all the time. I don't want this
Yeah.
all the time. It's not fun to be this lean
Yeah.
24/7. But they just see
No.
me looking really lean and looking good in a bikini and they're just like, that's what I want. I'm like, no, that's not realistic at all unless you're doing a show. So
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
compare just because somebody posted on the internet.
Yeah. Just like wasn't there like a group of little girls that saw you compete that year and like wanted to take pictures with you and stuff like that?
I don't know.
I think so. I think so. I can't remember. I'd have to go through my other phone and scroll through. But yeah. So
I don't remember, honestly. Especially if that night after the
yeah.
show, it was a
So
blur. I
yeah.
was still in shock.
So yeah. That was a pretty good session.
I know, right?
Hopefully
I kept that in the back of
hopefully
my
some
head.
people that hear it.
Because, like I
Yeah.
said, I've just been noticing it everywhere, and
Hopefully
I was talking to a guy about it, and so I was like, we should talk about it. To know that
yeah,
bodybuilders go through
definitely.
it
Hopefully
too.
it helps somebody. Yeah, 100%. You may be looking at somebody in the gym and thinking, "Oh man, they look so good," and you don't know what the internal struggle they're having within themselves. And you may think they look good, but they may be beating themselves up.
Comparing themselves to somebody else.
So,
It's a whole cycle.
yeah, or even comparing themselves to what they looked like a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Because once you achieve that lean body fat and you have nice muscle mass, like looking at those pictures, you're like, oh man, I was so ripped, I felt so like good. You think you felt good, but then you forget like how shitty you felt. Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't realize that when female competitors get that lean, their periods don't
Mm-hmm.
exist because you don't have that much fat. So therefore you're not going through your menstrual cycle, which
Your
means your
hormones
body's
are out
not
of whack.
naturally shedding. Yeah, your hormones are out of whack. You're emotional, your body hurts. The day of the show, you're completely dehydrated. And people think, oh man, you're the peak, of what fitness should be. And you're realistically just dehydrated and hurting,
Well, it's like,
and your body's sore for 3 days.
yeah, like
Mm-mm.
those in-body scanners. So we have one at one of the gyms, and there's a lot of people that they want to be on it every single day. Like I stopped pulling it out unless somebody asks for it now, because there's this one lady too, she always wants to be on it. And she comes around like 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and she's very lean. Um she just started working out, and she was that type of person that she's like, I don't know why my butt's not growing. I'm like, you just started working out. It takes time. But she got on, and I think it said she was 15% body fat. And she was like, I just feel like I'm not. Like, that's too low. I said, girl, I guarantee you're lower than that. And it's in the middle of the day where you've already eaten and drank water. Like, you're good. You're focusing on building muscle right now. Just stay off of it. But every day she wants to check. And I just feel like that's just a mental thing for her where it's just going to really fuck her up, And I'm like, you look
Yeah.
fine. Well, she's like in her 50s.
Yeah.
But she looks good, but she's like, I just have this extra skin. Maybe that's what the body fat's counting. I said, I'm like, just eat your food, do your
No.
workouts. Yeah, I keep trying to tell her it's nice.
Literally.
But everybody's been telling her, so we're all trying to encourage her, but I'm like, you're your own worst enemy right now, girl. Like, stay off of it. So I haven't, when she comes in, I don't pull it out anymore for her.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get on the scale, but maybe once a month, if that.
Yeah, same.
I go off of how my clothes fit. If my
Same.
clothes fit good, I know I'm doing something good,
Mm-hmm.
And also too, if you're eating right and you're getting your water and you're getting your sleep, it's going to show.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
But
100%.
a full episode of fitness.
Right? But it needs to be talked about.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. I think we should end it there.
Yeah, that was good. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Good.
Well, like you always say, like, subscribe, comment. What else is there? Share.
Like, subscribe, comment, share. We'll put up a poll. We'll put up a poll tomorrow and
Get some
on
ideas.
Instagram, tag me in it, and we'll see what people want us to talk about for the next episode.
Okay, we'll do.
All
right, mother trucker.
All right.
I'll
Bye.
see you later.
Hey,
Bye.
may the force be with you.
Always.